Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I got an announcement for you. So, it's like 12 o'clock in the morning. I just got off of work. So, the reason why I'm making this video, it's nothing major. It's just talking about the future of the channel a little bit. Nothing too concerning. It's just really more so about, like, some new changes that I'm considering, some updates that I'm thinking about implementing, among other things. So, I'm sure everybody is aware, right, of the new censorship policy or guideline that they're implementing on YouTube. The one that's going to, quote-unquote, protect the Yunnins from near-do-wells on the platform. That's the idea behind it, but what they're planning to do is that they're going to implement a new AI algorithm that essentially looks across the entirety of YouTube and essentially looks at different channels, looks at their content, looks at the content creator themselves, and what they're going to determine, as well as among other users and people who view that content, whether or not they are making content that is geared towards, the Yunnins, and whether or not that the person making the content or the people who view the content are actually Yunnins themselves. And so how this thing is essentially going to pan out, right, is that the AI system, from what I understand, because I only learned about it just earlier today, is that, well, not this particular thing, but I learned about another particular thing earlier today, but this one I did learn more in depth as a result. So a lot of people all have a problem with this because if it flags you as being underaged, they're going to want you to provide proof of age, and the way that they want you to do that is by giving YouTube proof of ID, credit card information, or anything, or even like a picture, just anything that involves physical proof of your age, that, or just something that's concrete that is easily verifiable with the YouTube algorithm to be able to basically, like, write a check to see whether or not you're actually who you say that you are. And a lot of people, VTubers in particular, rightly do not like this new idea. Do not like, they rightly do not like this new guideline and policy, myself included, because what it's going to fucking do is that, because there's also a kids channel called VTubers on the platform, that is aimed specifically towards the minor demographic, where a lot of people are worried that this channel, specifically called VTubers, are going to get a lot of the other VTubers on the platform, hit with the age verification algorithm shit, and they're going to have to suddenly verify their age because they're called VTubers, or because they list themselves as VTubers on the platform. Now, I, for one, don't like this. I don't think that's necessarily going to be the only thing that's going to get you flagged, but what I will say is that, if you, because you know how YouTube and Twitch gets, in particular with Twitch, VTubers get shafted quite often with new changes on any type of algorithm. And so, you VTubers in particular usually get hit the hardest with new guideline changes, and it tends to either shaft or hemorrhage views, or it tends to get your content copyrighted or flagged much more easier by the algorithm. And so a lot of people are just concerned, rightfully, that this is just going to screw up things even more, probably make it impossible to even have a working channel on YouTube as a result of this, especially if they don't want to fucking potentially run the risk of doxing themselves by giving off their personal information. Which, yes, again, understandably so. And I don't want to be in that position either. But, my 2 cents on it for me, right, is that I don't exactly mind it too much because, and here's the thing, right, is that I have already accepted the potential fact and reality that I could just be doxxed on the platform at any given point in time. Because, here's the interesting thing, right, is that if you've been on the internet long enough, you know that if people really want your data, they just will. They simply will. Like, if people really want to know who you are, and they really want to know where you live, they want to know, a lot of things about you, they'll just simply take it. They'll just simply find it and take it. And they can get other people who are better at cracking, security software, among other things, to simply do that for them. It's not going to take a miracle worker to do it. And, with the right technical know-how and jargon, just about really anyone could do it. It's not that hard, according to some people. So, yes, that being said, I do not really want to be doxxed, and I certainly don't want to make it easier for people to dox me, but, it is a fact of reality on any type of social media platform that if you've been around the block long enough, people are just going to know who you are, where you are at some point, especially depending on how controversial or how infamous or notorious you get. It's just the way it is. But, that being said, despite all of this, right, YouTube as a platform would not be this new change wouldn't be nearly so bad if people could trust YouTube as a platform to really keep their information safe, which they have proven before in the past that they do not. YouTube's been a platform that's been hacked before, it's been hijacked, it's also, right, riddled with a lot of scammers who have been essentially hijacking channels to basically sell viewers and subscribers Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, among other things, to people. I mean, everybody remember the Auru Crony incident from Hololive? That was a fucking thing. So, YouTube doesn't exactly have the most robust or stellar security measures to really be out here implementing new changes to their algorithm and guidelines and policies to essentially demand that you give them more personal information to basically do with what they will. And so, yeah, I don't really like this new change either. Most people don't like this new change, but that's not even the worst part of it. So recently, right, YouTube has also been doing one thing that I just learned about that I did not realize was a thing until a little later. I'm thinking that maybe this is the main reason why I'm hemorrhaging a little bit in viewership recently, because I did release a Russian Badger video, another Fat Electrician video, among other things. That's, you would think would get more views, but, albeit it could be something else entirely. So, there's been a new change to the algorithm, right? That essentially what has happened is that they've changed the algorithm currently to essentially look for more bot accounts. That was the idea behind it, but all it's really done so far recently, after they implemented their changes, is that it's been causing a lot of channels to hemorrhage views, and so people who aren't even bots don't even notice that there are videos made by their favorite content creators, or that they don't even really see any real notifications or announcements, among other things, right? They don't a lot of people are apparently having the problem of not getting nearly the level of exposure and viewership that they used to. And I feel like I'm getting the same thing because I did a whole stream with the Wu-Chain, or Wushan, which was a fairly recent game that came out. It's an interesting looking game, to say the least, and I didn't get a single goddamn view. Not just during the stream, but also the VODs have gotten zilch, nothing. And so I thought, okay, well maybe people just aren't interested in Wu-Chain Fallen Feathers, right? So I don't play the game. I stop playing it. I go and I make more reaction videos. I make one of the Fat Electrician, and I make one of I make one of Westhammer to focus more on, to go back to Warhammer content as well. I even did, right, a Russian Badger video, and you would think that the Russian Badger would warrant more than 9 fucking views in a single day, right? You would think. But, no, that didn't happen. So, I could just be mistaken, right? I could just be reading into the situation wrong, but, I feel like that the new algorithm change might have reason to do with why I'm not exactly getting as much views as I used to. I also might just be shadow banned for whatever reason. I don't know. I kind of swear a lot. I kind of have a bit of a potty mouth, so to speak. Not gonna lie. I tend to speak very frankly. But yeah, it's a whole thing. I'm not sure what the problem is. I'm not sure what's going on with the channel. Because I used to get a lot of views at one point in time here and there, depending on the content creator, right? Like, even the Fat Electrician, like, I get at least 30 views, but, like, I don't get that much views anymore. And I'm wondering, and I'm kind of concerned if maybe I'm just slowly getting shadow banned. It could be a few things, right? It could also just be because of the fact that I'm not covering topics that are interesting to a lot of people. Like these, like the videos that I'm covering, the games that I'm playing, just aren't getting the views because nobody is interested to see them. It's also probably because of the male VTuber effect, where it's just like, oh yeah, I don't care about this, right? Because I'm not. I mean, like, let's just be honest. Like, most people don't watch male VTubers. Like, I don't watch a whole lot of male VTubers. The most I've ever watched is Kip. He's like the only male VTuber I've ever watched. But yeah, otherwise, like, most people don't watch male VTubers because why would you want to watch male VTubers when you could watch, women, particularly a pair of tits on screen at any given point in time and have more dulcet tones invade your ears rather than the fucking rabbi sounds of my fucking tone of voice invading yours. But anyways, that's either here or there. The point is, right, there's a lot of problems, and there's a lot of potential reasons why I think my channel is kind of, like, fading into obscurity here. But generally, I think it could be either the changes by YouTube, it could also be just the fact that people just aren't interested in my content. It could just be because of the fact that a lot of people just don't like the way I do my content. It could be a many of things. I have no idea what it is. And so it has led me to thinking. It has led me to consider my options here. And so I've decided, and I've kind of determined for myself, right, that I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to continue to use YouTube for now. At least when it comes to reaction content, among other things, I'll continue to use YouTube for that. But when it comes to gaming, what I'm probably going to do is that I'm probably going to go stream my gaming content over on either Twitch or Kick, but I hear Twitch is being a bitch as of late. The purple platform has being a bitch as of late. I don't know if I can really say the platform's names out loud. I hear that's a bit of an issue too. But I definitely am considering my options when it comes to gaming content in particular. And I'm hearing that Kick is probably the best way to go. And if nothing else, I can try dual streaming on both Kick and YouTube. That way, there's at least, like, an avenue for both. But I'm not sure how to get that set up. It's going to take me some time to really figure all that stuff out, all that technical jargon. I might even ask for some assistance from some creators, maybe. I don't know. I have thought about it. Like, there's a couple of people I could probably ask. Like, I don't think Tectone would actually want to. I'll probably ask Leaf, but I don't want to bother Leaf. I feel like I don't feel like I'm worth the time and effort, really, and I don't want to be a bother, really. I'm kind of like I really don't like being an inconvenience to people. The whole point of why I made this channel is essentially to be more so myself, right? Like, the reason why I started this channel, the reason why I got this VTuber model, the reason why I do everything on YouTube, and why I am the way that I am on YouTube, and the content that I create, among other things, all of this is because of one clear, specific reason, and that's because the main reason what led me to become a content creator, what started it all, was because I wanted to just be myself, right? And at first, I was just a disembodied voice on the platform, but I gradually went on and got myself a VTuber model. I debated it with myself for a while, but I eventually got myself a VTuber model. And so now I'm also like an anime character with, with a bit more personality and a voice behind it. And I did this primarily because, I don't exactly have any real ways or avenues to be myself. Like, even when I'm with friends, I feel like I have to I have to hold back my opinions, my tone a bit. I have to put on a mask around my family. I have to put on a mask every time I go to work. Like, I have no real avenues to just be me, to just be myself. And so I started the channel mainly as a way to exercise being myself, to be able to speak my mind, to essentially get my thoughts out there, and to essentially just be a better version of myself by by continuously and consistently talking, I guess you could say, to and about myself to the point of nauseum, perhaps, but I try to reel it in sometimes. Not at least not when I first started, because I just rambled on because I just did it just to ramble. But I have been trying to tone it down a little bit, try to reel it in a bit. I've been, like, trying to be consistent, coherent, to the point. And so, with that being said, that is the main reason why I started the channel. That is the main reason why I went down the path of being a content creator, was because I just wanted to be a bit more of me and get more in tune with myself and figure that out. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's a car going on outside. And so, with that being said, I definitely want to continue to do this. I want to continue to create content. I definitely want to talk about things that I like to do, things that interest me, and maybe even things that get under my skin a little bit, but, I don't know if people want to see that. I don't think people want to see my personal gripes, to be honest. And honestly, I'd rather not be mad all the time. It's not optimal, really. At least it's not emotionally optimal for me, with my low self-esteem. But yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it, really, I guess. So yeah, with these new algorithm changes and the new guidelines in terms of service updates that they're going to, that's going to add another AI to the system, I'm kind of concerned about my future on this platform, as well as just the future of the channel a little bit. But I may end up going to, at least for now, stream all of my gaming, my actual game streaming on Kick, and then, and maybe probably dual stream on YouTube. I don't see why I shouldn't, right? But I'm probably gonna do most of my gaming content on Kick primarily, if nothing else, and I'll definitely post VODs of it on YouTube, and hopefully, right, it doesn't get so bad on the 13th of this month. It's when that hits, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, hopefully on the 13th of, what is it, August now, it won't fuck up YouTube so much, and also the channel so much, to where I won't be able to make content anymore. I'm sure what's mostly gonna happen, right, the more realistic thing that's probably gonna happen, is that it's gonna have some issues at first, but otherwise it could easily be quickly resolved. Like a lot of problems won't hit everyone. Like, there's enough creators on the platform to where it's probably gonna have a hard time catching every little thing in every little instance, and like, even a smaller creator like myself probably is just gonna fall under the radar, under the wayside of it. So I'll probably manage to get around it somehow. But like, in any event, I'm just considering my options. I'm just kind of telling you guys what I'm thinking about, what I'm debating about doing. Like, what's the future of the content is going to look like. But yeah, otherwise, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say. So yeah, I don't know who I'm going to talk to about maybe doing the Kick thing. I guess I could just research it myself, but I don't know. I'll just go ahead and leave you guys with that. Thank you all so much for listening, I guess. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.